Welcome to the Lake Show, where you can find out what's going on in and around Lake Loudoun. This show is brought to you by the Fort Loudoun Lake Association, a nonprofit environmental conservation organization that keeps Fort Loudoun Lake safe, clean, and fun. I'm Angela Howard, the Executive Director of Fort Loudoun Lake Association, and I work with zone managers and an in-house scientist who remove trash and debris daily, educate our community on pollution prevention, and monitor stormwater and the health of our streams. Today we're filming out on Volunteer Landing. It's a beautiful day, the summer is beginning, and we're going to be out on the lake here real soon. And I have John Geer, Assistant Manager of West Marine, here with me today to talk about all the things that we can do for boat safety.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, I actually found out from you when I interviewed you before that we have boat safety. Is it week this week?
Boat Safety Week is going on right now.
What is that actually?
It's an organ from Discover Boating has produced this, and it's a marketing campaign basically to ensure that those of us who are out on the water and our friends and family maintain safe boating practices, such as making sure that we're carrying our proper life jackets, fire extinguishers, you know, all the fun stuff that we need to have on the boat that we don't think we need.
Does it have anything to do with like the rules of driving? I mean, I know that's a problem here. Well, not just here, but probably on the lakes. That's the most dangerous thing.
Probably it's starting to become more and more of an issue. The distracted driver's law that Tennessee has, for instance, when you're in your car, is now starting to fall over into the water.
Well, you got to inform us about what's a distracted
driver's law in Tennessee has to do with people who are driving mainly when they're talking on their cell phone or text messaging.
Oh boy.
Well, that has fallen over into boating now. And just last year we had our first incident where we had texting while jet skiing and the person ran into a cruiser.
I'm sorry that I look so surprised, but who can text while they're on a jet ski?
Well, she wasn't going very fast, but she had one hand up and was texting, and for some reason failed to miss this 30-foot boat. And obviously when you let off on the throttle, there's no brakes on the jet ski, and slammed right into it. So that's something that the Coast Guard Auxiliary and some of the other organizations around town are starting to focus on now, is distracted boaters.
Gosh, I'm glad to hear that actually. I've asked people that have been in that chair right there, what is the most dangerous thing out on the water? And it's distracted drivers.
Distracted drivers, absolutely.
Yeah, probably the TWRA that said that. So you're with West Marine.
Yes, I am.
A national boat supply and store. So you've seen a lot, but you've come to Knoxville from where?
All over, but recently Augusta, Georgia. But I've also I was born and raised in Michigan and lived on Lake Michigan.
There you go. That's what I was getting at.
Yep, born and raised on a little lake called Crystal Lake, and had my first boat at 12 years old and have been boating ever since.
So it's like an addiction then. Can you speak to these people?
It's a sickness is what it is. But once you get your first boat, it's absolutely fantastic. And being out on the water, for me, there's nothing better than being on the water with friends, family, water skiing, whatever it is. As long as I'm on the water, I'm happy.
Gosh, that's a great thing. Really, to promote our greatest asset right here, right behind us, Volunteer Princess. Again, I say we're on Volunteer Landing. It's a gorgeous day. Are you itching to get on your boat?
I am, and it's kind of one reason why I ended up in Knoxville is because of the Tennessee River.
Oh.
Some friends were boating, and once I discovered boating on the Tennessee River and found out that we're navigable, several of our customers and some friends go all the way down to the Caribbean in the wintertime. And when I found out that I could get on a boat and in about 2 weeks be down in the Gulf of Mexico, I was like, Daddy's home.
Yeah, well, that's a great thing for people to hear that maybe don't even know about Knoxville. Thinking about places to move or reasons to come to Knoxville, that's a great reason. So you consider this a big asset for us?
A huge asset for us, huge.
And how would you say we should be promoting it or maybe treating it? You came from Michigan. Is Lake Michigan very clean?
Lake Michigan's very clean, but even the inland lake that I was on was spotless. I mean, the reason why they called it Crystal Lake is you could see 50 to 75 feet deep in it.
Well,
and that was great. So, and Lake Michigan's cleaned up quite a bit. They've worked really hard, Lake Michigan, Huron, and Erie, to clean it up, and we just have to be diligent, support all the local charities and organizations such as yours to maintain the cleanliness of the river. Excuse me, it's river.
Well, yeah, that's debatable. For me, growing up here, it was the Tennessee. This is the head of the Tennessee River, and when you say it's navigable, for people to know, it means you can put a boat in here, and like you said, you can end up in the Gulf of Mexico, which is a great trip. Have you ever done it?
No, I have not yet.
So that's something on the bucket list.
It is, definitely.
So going back to this, buying your first boat and getting the fever, the bug of being out in the water on a craft.
Right.
So how would you talk to our audience about, beginning and tire bumping a little bit and going out and researching and really encouraging people to get to the river?
I think the first thing, as far as anybody going out and buying a boat, the first thing I'd encourage is ask around, stop at the marinas, talk to some of the people, walk up and down the docks and talk to the boat owners. When I bought my first new boat, it was because of other owners. That was very valuable, a very valuable insight. And then once I finally got, and this is obviously when I was older, but once I finally got onto the waterway, yeah, you're going to make mistakes, and it's inevitable. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen. But gradually learn that there are certain things that you have to know as a courtesy to other boaters. You should always make sure that you're prepared to go onto the water. If you pull up to a ramp and you're just now starting to put all your stuff into the boat, you're wasting valuable time, not only for yourself and your family, but also everybody else. So little tricks of the trades, so to speak. Observe other people, make mental notes of how other people are handling the boat. The biggest thing to remember is don't ever get in a hurry, and remember there are no brakes.
Yeah, I remember when you told me that. I never thought about that, because I think when you throttle off, it seems like there's brakes, but you are still moving for quite a ways.
You can be moving at quite a good clip based on, especially out here with the current. You've got the current going, so you may pull off the throttle and you're still going at 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, and then there's those Memorial Day weekends, or those big vacation day weekends or weeks, and it's just packed out there. So one of the things I hear you saying with this safety week, especially being safety week, is to know the rules.
Exactly.
And to be courteous, and to keep your eyes open, and obviously not texting.
And not texting, yes. And the biggest thing when it comes to safety on the water, in my opinion, is making sure that certain provisions have been taken place on the boat. Like I said, the life jackets, the fire extinguishers, some sort of communication device. Cell phones, yes, but two-way radio is even more important to get a hold of, the Coast Guard Auxiliary or TWRA. Be very mindful of the weather. It's not quite as severe here as it is in some areas, but the weather can change in a blink of an eye. I've been on the Tennessee River where we've gone from no wind to 30-mile-an-hour winds and a tornado coming across us. That was a little scary, but so just be mindful of that. And I can't say enough good things about common sense. So
sounds like you need to be reading up on your safety, but to be prepared is what I'm hearing.
Prepared, yep.
Prepared. So boating really can teach you to be prepared.
Absolutely.
Hopefully not by making mistakes, right?
Right. And like I said, mistakes are inevitable. It will happen. It'll happen usually once to a boater, but once it happens once, then you tell everybody else what you just experienced, and hopefully everyone else will learn from that. But be prepared. Remember, don't ever get in a hurry. And one other thing that I'm kind of very trying to think of the term for it, but promoting is making sure someone else knows how to operate the boat.
That's in your boat.
That's in the boat. Right. So
like your kid who's 8 years old, handing them the helm.
Exactly. But making sure that if something happens, like if we're on the boat and something happens to me, you know how to operate my boat. You know how to shut it down. You know how to turn the batteries off. You know how to flip the batteries on. The basics, because that's where we see, just in my experience in the last 10 years in Knoxville, some of the tragedies have taken place is somebody doesn't know how to operate the boat when something happens. And it can be something as simple as heat exhaustion and fainting. The captain does that, and you've got 5 people on the boat. Nobody knows how to operate the boat. What do you do?
Wow. It sounds like you probably don't promote boating alone much.
No. Never boat alone. Always have a float plan.
Well, and I'm sure that if anybody has any questions about things that they need, they can come to West Marine, which would be nice.
Absolutely, all the time. That's what we're there for.
Right.
We are boaters. I mean, we do this all the time. So.
Yeah, and I had a boat owner in the seat last time who lives on his boat most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about the great community of boaters and that they are out there to help you, and that it's all for one and one for all.
It is very much so. A great example of that. I was watching a guy pull in his fairly big boat at a local marina, and there was just enough wind, and people came from out of the woodwork, came over, helped him back his boat in, made sure everything was okay, and then they just scattered. And my wife and I were sitting watching this, and we're like, so that's what boaters do? And I said, that's what we all do. We help each other. Mm-hmm.
So this is a great way to kind of bring our show to a close, as a real call to all of our audience to get out. It's gorgeous. To enjoy the water. Like I said, there's an article coming out in Metropulse. I am the Lady of the Lake in the Lake Life, which is kind of fun. It's about every other week. But one of the things that I really was challenging Knoxvillians to do, or people from around the counties, is to get out, walk down to the lake, bring
mm-hmm.
a picnic. You don't have to get a boat. You can get a paddleboard. You can get a kayak.
Yep.
You can just stick your feet in the lake. It's just
mm-hmm.
beautiful to really use our beautiful asset. And remember, Fort Loudoun Lake Association is there for you, cleaning up the debris and the trash along the side. If you ever see anything, please call us, 523-3800, and we'll send somebody out and get the debris taken care of. We also do the water testing. I have a wonderful scientist that I work with. And one of the greatest things that we're growing is our volunteer programs and our education, advocacy, and protection. So if you want to know anything about us, just go to our website, FLLAKE.org, and everything is there. How to contact us, how to get involved in an event, or to be a volunteer. And we also live and thrive off donations. So please feel free to help us along. We do have financial goals of putting more people on the water. So in closing, let me thank you for joining us today. And remember, what we do is REM. We remove trash and debris daily. We educate our community, and we monitor the water safety and quality. You can donate at Fort Loudoun Lake Association. You can go to our website or the Facebook. Please join our newsletter, and you can find out what's going on. Volunteer and sign up. Until next week, thanks.